Right, hello, and welcome to Wall World. This should be the final episode, finally. So I've finally found the last key, as we can see down here, in what looks like the beginning of a Doom level. Unfortunately, I don't have the overdrive or anything here, so I've got to get back to the spider and go from the bottom to the top of the map in 2.5 minutes. So I'll go into the details on what I've had to do to get this. So basically, it has, and you can see I've got like max upgraded mega drill. So it has been, and I'm glad I did just decide to do this off camera and just do an episode where it's basically the finish, and then I'll just talk a bit about the game. Essentially, it has taken 3 and a bit hours. It has been ridiculous to get this thing. I have a few theories. Oh god, that one. Something flickered then. I've got a few theories as to why it's taken, well, as to how these things spawn in now. I've got a few theories. We cannot stop to fight these though. We can launch a few missiles to hopefully get them off our tracks as we go. Oh look, I guess you can just outrun them. Who knew? Right, so the way that I think that it works, my suspicion at least, I think each sort of biome, I think, contains one. So I think there's basically, I'll bring up the upgrade menu. So I think this one here, where it spawns in like weird, that it's like the upper biome, the first one above this resource, where it's like a sort of weird cybernetic area sort of thing. That spawns one. I think there's one in the red area, there's one in the I'm trying to think if there's been one in the snow, but that's my suspicions. At least. That's my suspicion. But not fully certain on that, but it seems like once you've found, for example, the one that's in like the lava area, right, you won't find another one in the lava biome, right? Once you've found one in the... Because what kind of clarified me on this is this final resource, this like blue square, it's the one that you find in the area that looks like circuitry, like a green microchip. I don't think I'm going to make it here, unfortunately. So there will be a bit of an episode and we'll just make our way to the top. But the way that I so with that, basically I think that and yeah, we won't be able to get out of this. We're going to die one last time. Next one will be the last. It'll only be about, it'll take as long as it takes to get the laser machine gun so that I can get to the next area. Damn you. So, because I went to the you found the 5th one. Yep, that's it. I'm calling the elders. Jill, alright, what are you going to do? I don't know. I'll unlock the core and go from there. You think it'll change anything? I wanted to find the edge of a wall. This thing wasn't part of the plan. Yeah, poor you. Now you'll just have to be the one who activates the core for the first time in several hundred years. We shall see. Do I have any new... No, I think I've literally found everything at this point. You can tell it's been several hours as well when you see the amount of currency in the top right. Oh, I wonder if I've gone past 200,000 yet. I wonder. I bet I'm closing in on it. Right. 199,000. We'll pass 200,000 in this. Yeah. We do a lot of damage now. Looks like this is a schematic room then. Yes, it was. Right. What have we got? Drilling efficiency, that'll help. You'll notice as well the radius on the Robo Spider tether thing is huge now. The generator thing basically mines everything for us. I think it's only at like the second biome above and the second biome below that things actually start to get difficult to mine. Even with default gear, because we just remove that much with the Robo Spider upgrades now. But yeah, so my theory is, essentially, I think that there's one that spawns in. I'm trying to remember now where I've seen them. I know in the biome above, well, the biome that can spawn above and beyond that. I've seen one there. I've definitely seen one in the lava biomes. I have to go back and look, but I think basically certain biomes will spawn them, right? Once you have found it in that biome, it won't spawn there again, and instead, because I've seen some of those rooms now where they spawn, I've seen them multiple times. If they've already spawned there once, it spawns a blueprint instead, or a schematic. Right, so it won't spawn twice. And I think the reason that it's been getting hard to find is because it only spawns in the amount that are remaining, I think, is my theory on this. So the first few times you play the game, and it will probably happen the first time that you beat the boss's second phase, that you'll probably end up finding 2 or 3 in a single run, because there'll be 5 of them on the map, and they'll all be in these different biomes, so you'll likely find 2 or 3 in a single run. And yeah, it's pretty it gets pretty difficult after that, because then it will spawn them in and there'll only be 1 or 2 on the entire map. Now looks like we found the starting biome weapon. Right. So that's my theory to it. So I think it only spawns as many as there are keys remaining, I think. I don't think I've just been getting unlucky and it's not been spawning them in this entire time. I think literally it will only spawn 1 in on the entire map. Which makes me think, you know, if there's 6 biomes where it could be, right, 6 biomes where it can be, and remember, biomes, you know, it can be in, well, how to put it, so I don't mean literally like the areas on the map, like, ooh, there's one in the area above the start, there's one in the area, no. I think literally, there is one in, say, the microchip biome, where it's like a green microchip background. Any cave, where it's like that, I think you can find it. Keeping in mind that some of these caves can spawn in multiple areas on the map, right? And I think that is the reason why it's sometimes difficult to find. So you get to the end, and again I think it's every resource except from the, yeah, I think it's every biome that isn't a standard biome or the green crystal caverns biome. Every biome other than that. So For example, you know, you can go and find, you know, the one which spawns black pearls in, and there'll be one there. At some point in the game, there'll be one in one of those biomes. Those biomes can spawn in the area below the start, and the second area below the start. I'm still not using my plane upgrades here, hang on. It's because I'm talking. But, yeah. That's what I'm suspecting with this. It's my suspicion, I think, that basically the reason we've not been finding it is just, yeah, literally it'll have been in either the, I think the ones where it was is the lava biome. There was the lava biome, and I think there could have been, where have I not found one? I think it was, I'm not certain, but I don't know which was the other one that I'd not found one in, but I think that's basically it. I think there might have been 2 biomes left. It would spawn in one of them, so you could end up chasing down one end of the map and it spawned in the other. And that seems to be why it's taken me 3 goes to find it. And it's why I've gone through all the upgrades, because, yeah. Basically, I've ended up getting, well, I've got to remember as well, I've got a shotgun here, that'll be much more useful here. But yeah, basically I've gone through multiple times where I've had to try and explore as much of the map as possible, particularly in the areas where I wouldn't normally. And last time I think I explored almost every single area on the map. Now, all in the I think where I found it was at the very bottom in the final biome, or in the final area in one of the lava biomes, in like a lava cave, yeah? That's where I found the thing. And those can obviously spawn in areas 2 and 3 along the bottom. Which is why it took so long to find the damn thing. Right. Anyway, I've had a good time with it. I do like roguelikes that have got more of a definitive end. Like, for something that's £3, I'm glad that they've not tried to make something that's, hey, you can replay this infinitely. No, it's got an ending. You know? There is something to be said about a game where I can get to a finish on it. You know, there is an ending. I mean, most roguelikes do, but, you know, it's not like, for example, Isaac, where it's like, but then there's the true ending, and the true ending, and the ultimate, final, true, mega ending. But better still, you actually upgrade as you go here, you know, you get, you know, you go in, you have a run, you get defeated, and you just power up the Robo Spider and you get further. Kind of like, similar to more like Rogue Legacy, rather than say Binding of Isaac, or something more recently that I've been playing, I'd say Wild Frost, for example, where you're not really getting upgrades, you're getting more, you know, side grades instead. You know, new things will now spawn and there's a chance to get new items, but they're not necessarily better, there's just more options. No, you get objectively stronger in this. Something that I think a lot of roguelikes could do with remembering, that, you know, the meta progression system isn't just to keep the game fresh. It's supposed to kind of make it a bit easier as you go, really. But of course, and I'll be honest, I think the best way I've seen it done is something like, say, Slay the Spire. Got the laser. That's what we're after. But Slay the Spire is honestly, there's a reason why it's kind of up there as one of the hallmarks in the genre with things like Faster Than Light and Binding of Isaac and things. Because, yeah, the way that it does its meta progression, so you can absolutely, you can do it without all the unlocked cards and characters. you can just start the game as just ironclad with the default cards without and just win, right? But once you've won, well, that's not it. You can do it on Ascension modes to get an additional ending. But each time you're doing it, it's giving you more cards. The cards aren't necessarily more powerful, but they give you more options. You do unlock more. So you are getting not necessarily significantly more powerful, but a lot more options for different, and they're usually different builds and things. But you're also getting additional difficulties unlocked, which is quite useful. That's quite handy because there's a reason to keep playing them, and you get different characters and things. And I'm trying to think, I guess there is an argument to say that the cards you unlock are perhaps a bit more powerful than that. They tend to unlock new builds really for the character. You tend to unlock like a number of strength-related cards for the Ironclad, for example. Then you at one point unlock a load of Shiv stuff for the Silent. So the stuff you unlock, you are definitely increasing power a bit, but it mostly feels like different builds, side grades, that sort of thing. But then there's reason to keep playing as well. It doesn't just go, well, now that you've got really good at the game and you've unlocked a load of cool stuff and everything, it doesn't keep the difficulty where it's at. It raises it so that you've then got a reason to keep playing after the fact, which I appreciate. Right, we've got the laser machine gun. We're probably ready to go now. So I will say I like the progression system in this. Right, we best head back quick. We'll fill up. One thing I'll admit that I don't know if I fully agree with. Let's see. Get rid of these first. Right. One thing I'll admit that when it comes to the upgrade system, I don't know why. Like some of them are like locked, aren't they? At the beginning, you have to find those schematics for them and things. Or is it blueprints? It's one of them anyway. You have to go and find all this stuff for them, and then you have to keep finding them to keep upgrading them. I don't know why when you've unlocked them once you can't just max out the upgrade, but sure, I guess it's to try and get you to play more. Because you don't want a lot of your gameplay to be focused on grind. I will say, having played a lot of Rogue Legacy, like Rogue Legacy 2, I've still got to go back and beat that at some point. There's like there's 3/4 of the game being built, uploaded onto the channel, and then by the time I'd got to there, a bunch of other games had come out and I had to kind of sideline the series. It wasn't getting many views, and my god, it was taking so long, basically. But it was. There's no denying it. It takes way too long. It's great with its meta progression and that that you are objectively becoming more powerful, and it's what I would call perfect difficulty. There's a similar thing going on with Elden Ring, where basically you keep upgrading, eventually there's no denying that you will, without question, beat Rogue Legacy 2. If you play that game, it's nigh on impossible to fail, because it's designed to let you win. More so than most games. Let's put simply, you upgrade your character between runs, the game doesn't get any harder. Right? You go in at the start, the first area, is incredibly difficult, and each subsequent area is nigh on impossible at the beginning of the game. But by the end, you've got that many upgrades that you can now one-shot most enemies in most areas, and it is absolutely ridiculous. You know, I think at the stage I was at, where I got to it with, I was basically able to one or two hit most of the enemies in almost every area apart from the one that I was currently at. It's ridiculous. Right, we'll just get a few upgrade materials in here, and we'll try and get our... we just need to level up our laser a little bit really, so that we can guaranteed make it to the top. But yeah, it was very much a case of that, yeah, you'd get to this ludicrous power level, but basically, because the game is a set difficulty and it gets harder to as you go to each area, but you're upgrading all the time, at some point the game's because essentially your upgrades are making the game easier, right? The upgrades you're buying are just making you objectively more powerful and will eventually brute force your way through. So at some point the game's difficulty matches your level of skill due to the upgrades you purchased. So you'll be getting better and the game is getting easier. So eventually the two meet and you just win. I think these used to be what's it, blueprints, but now they just give you upgrade and that, so there's definitely like certain things that are set to spawn in certain areas, and then when they're gone, I think it's true with the crypto keys, when you've run out of blueprints or in areas where there's crypto keys, when you've got the one from that spot, they no longer spawn. Anyway, we'll just mine this while we're waiting. Let's get that, and that, and that, and that. That should probably carry me to the top of the wall. Right. Okay. Yeah, I think this can carry me to the top of the wall. Of course, I'll not say to more resources since there's just a pile of them in here for me. Okay, wow. Yeah, this really gets it done, doesn't it? Right, so yeah. All in all though, this I think it's been very enjoyable. For the price, honestly, I think they could have charged a tenner for this. Well, not a tenner, a tenner more than it is. I'd have paid like, you know, I think, you know, if I were going to put a number on it, I'd have said about $12.99 for this, would be fine. You know, my advice to them would be, charge more. But yeah, but for what it is, very much a worthwhile purchase. Been a great game. Like I said, I do appreciate one that just does have an ending, and you power up when you get to the ending. And like I said, one of the differences between, say, like Rogue Legacy and things like Binding of Isaac, or again Wild Frost that I've been trying to beat at the moment, like, you play Wild Frost and it's like, okay, it's very punishing if you make mistakes in that game, but in addition, you beat the game, it gets harder, and you're like, but they'll have given me lots of upgrades. Like, no, the upgrades and things are just unlocks. You don't become more powerful as it goes on. I wouldn't even say that the things you unlock make you stronger or anything. Like I say, it's mostly side grades and things. Okay, yeah, well, these are all just flowing off the side here. Right, let's get what we can and go. Okay. Oh, not quite it. There we go, a couple more. That was a good one, right. Okay, let's pull this up. Oh, we're about to hit the first boss, are we? Come on, there we go. It's probably going to try and slam this straight away. Yep. That's fun. I've not used these dodges in forever. I'll have to try one in a second. Go! Wow. Maybe I should be using those more. Damn. Fire missile tip, that'll do. Right, we'll grab the rest of these. That should be enough upgrade resources to get us a good laser to be able to push through to the top. And that'll be the final episode. So we'll wrap it up nicely with a bow. Right. We can lose some spread, there we go. Right, how good is this then? Whoa, those are some boosters, yeah. So does the final oh wow, I can just walk over those ones now. Splat, 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 splat. That one. Yep. So what does this look like? Oh wow. So yeah. Oh, we've long since gone over the 200,000 mark on the meta currency here. It looks like now. We'll boost up. These still hurt us a lot, it looks like. Yeah. Right. Anyway, here we are. The final fight. Gotcha. And for those of you wondering, so by the way, I'm not pressing on here, it's just, there you go, it's over. The day the world went away. The day the world went away. Achievement unlocked. I think, by the way, that from this point onwards you can go back into the game. Oh, we've left his thing there, we're just hovering above. Don't know how the gun's still moving there, but yeah. So, looks like it was a small team, couple programmers, the design and that. Yeah. So, again, it's, I would say that, yeah, it's a nice package, that. Very much worth a couple of quid. They could easily charge more. No idea why they've charged so little for it. It kind of, a lot of people are saying it's like a Dome Keeper clone. I mean, it's like, I see the similarities. Certainly I do. I've actually preferred this. You know, it's not this infinite thing where there's not really an end to it. No, there's a finish, and it's after a good amount of playtime. Definitely I would change the spawning logic on the keys. I would probably put those in a fixed position so you know where to get them, you know. That's how I feel it should be. Maybe it's just me. There we go. No final words from these two. Right. I'll go back to the menu. So yeah, it's... If I were to change anything, I would just say the spawning logic on the keys can be a bit... Yeah. Again, it seems like basically there are... So like I said, there's 5. I think it will only spawn 1 in at each one. I would almost go as far as to say that basically the depth scanner upgrade that you get should be able to be upgraded so that if you get far enough to the game where you've got that fully up, basically you've unlocked most of the upgrades, you got to the position where I was, and I'm just running up and down for a key and it's taken me 3 hours, and it's not the best gameplay. I think that the depth scanner upgrade, which, in fact, I'll just bring that up while I'm looking at this. Here we are. Scans the number of resources, whether it's the size of the cave, and whether or not there's any anomalies and how many. Right? I would go as far as to say this should be changed so that it's if you pick up the item from a room. So if there's a room in there and you pick up the item in that room, it no longer comes up as an anomaly. Because when you take one of the upgrade modules, those little ball things that get stuck in your vacuum, when you take those out, it reduces the number of anomalies. I think if there's, say, a schematic or a weapon or something, and you grab it, it should reduce it as well. But I also think that there should be something else that comes up. Say, I don't know, instead of anomaly it says, energy signature detected or something in addition to that, yeah, unique energy signature detected, or unknown energy signature ×1, and it's a key then, and it should always spawn in. There should be one in each area, and there should always, I mean, it's fair enough, once you've gathered the one from, the area above the spawn, there'll never be one spawning there ever again, right? Once you've gathered the one from below the spawn, they'll never spawn another one in. That would be fair enough, but I think having the depth scanner help you out, and having it so that they will always spawn in those locations, they'll never... there will always be one in the biome below until you found it. There will always be one in the biome below that until you found it. And same going up. I think that's fair enough. I think that would be... Because then when you get to the end, you won't spend as much time, if it cuts... Because that's the thing, you kind of want to cut out. If there's a few hours of tedium where you're just faffing around waiting for the RNG to kind of work and having to try and remember which ones you found, which ones you haven't, and so on. That could be quite frustrating. I think just having something like I say, in addition to anomalies, you know, like unknown energy signature on the depth scanner, when you've upgraded it a couple times, would really cut down. We're talking maybe cutting 2 hours of gameplay off, but it's 2 hours of tedious gameplay. You don't really want that. You know, there's something to be said for slimming a game down if part of the game is unnecessary, because it can create a frustrating experience for that part of the game, and it's not something you want, because it can leave a bitter taste in your mouth right at the end. Ooh, I've not got the full upgrade for that. Right, now I have. Just noticed then. Oh, and these all say next level on. Ooh. Maybe I've not quite got all the upgrades then yet. But as far as I'm aware now, it becomes an endless mode. And I'm fairly certain I can play and you'll notice there'll not be a timer at the top as far as I'm aware. I think it literally, if we load in here, but yeah, that would be all I would really change though. Yeah, no timer. There's still the waves, but the Leviathan is gone. You can, of course, you know, if you want the Leviathan back, you know, you can create new profiles to create one where there is one. You'd lose the upgrades, but hey. But yeah, it's very good. Really enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed watching. That's going to do it for the final episode. We've beat the game. We've got the ending. I would love to see a new one. You know, if I did a sequel or something, I'd love to see more. Right, that'll be it for War World. Probably looking to replace it on the channel or something. I think at the time this will be going up, it'll be shortly before I go on my summer holidays, so it might be a while before. Yeah, I think at the moment, like at the time of recording, I'm still kind of toing and froing about what series I'm going to continue and which ones I'm going to cut over the holidays, because we'll probably see a transition toward. I've got the Great War and Phantom Brigade probably going up, as well as a few other games that I've kind of got. I've done bits of recordings. I'm just trying to sort of figure out which ones I'll put up, especially as I go on holiday. So there might be a few short series as well in there that we'll look at. But thank you very much for watching, if you made it to the end, and I'll see you in future series. I'll see you then.